The world change has shifted to second gear. The shift from the dark age of Kali Yuga to the golden age of Satyug has begun. That requires a brief period of chaos, and that has begun as predicted. I said that on June 8th, Ketu would make Trump a stronger Rakshasa. On Friday, almost on the degree of power for June 8th, the prediction came true. These things can happen early in Jyotish. Trump made a terrorist attack on the United States. It began with an ICE raid, arresting people who showed up at the LA courthouse to file papers so they could work. They picked the vegetables and fruit which goes to the trucks and then to grocery stores so the police and Trump and the National Guard can eat. People protested the illegal arrests, and Trump illegally called in the National Guard. That is supposed to be the decision of the governor, not the president. And there was no need for it. Police used tear gas and flashbangs. There were bonfires burning in the street. Flashbangs are devices that explode with a loud bang and emit a brilliant light. 152 people were arrested. The Jyotish I gave you was correct. I said that on June 8th, Rahu would bring destruction to Trump's 7th house. That's foreign countries and business partners. And what happened? When Rahu got just close to the degree of power, a day early again, Trump's top financial supporter for his election, Elon Musk, broke from Trump and said Trump should be impeached. Now, he may have said that because he didn't do what he promised and make me richer than I made myself. I don't know. But now they're at war. The Jyotish prediction came true. Trump's 7th house is the nation's 3rd house. It is government and laws. Rahu there creates conflicts regarding government and laws. What conflicts? Trump's illegal order for the National Guard and 152 arrests. Conflicts the Jyotish predicted. Ketu, and for that day, practically. Ketu is in the 9th house for the United States. In mundane Jyotish, the 9th house represents good fortune for the country. Ketu ruins that. It brings corruption and destruction for the country. Ketu will be there with negative forces until Satyug comes this year. This is what I said would happen. Trump has a military parade planned, not for the 4th of July, but for June 14th, his birthday. And on that day, there are 1,500 cities planning protests against Trump, including Washington, D.C. They're trying to get 2 million people in Washington, D.C. in counteraction to his birthday military parade. They're happening on the same day in the same city. The tanks have already arrived for Trump. There will be jets, helicopters, and soldiers. On that day, protesters will be mixing with military somewhere in D.C. Maharishi said that near the end, the nation will fall, and people will go insane in the streets. On that day, the sun, Trump's ruling planet, will be weak near the last degree of the sign at 29 degrees out of 30. Violent Mars will transit over Trump's birth Mars and Ketu in his first house. This is all happening on his birthday parade and the protest march with 2 million people, hopefully. Ketu also acts like Mars. Ketu there in his first house makes him a stronger Rakshasa. And Mars is a violent, fiery planet. This is an extremely fiery situation in a Rakshasa configuration. A Rakshasa is a demon. I was talking with my dear friend and Vedic scholar Brad Berkheimer last night. I've shown you his art here on my channel. He thinks the spark that could ignite a military takeover would be if someone is killed in the protests. That would be the final straw for our nation's citizens. The next big change will be Trump's conflicts with other countries, because the demon Rahu is in his 7th house, not just of business partners, but it also represents other countries outside of the U.S. You all know chaos is here, and the press is going to make it look dangerous for us all. But I'm telling you, this is just part of the world's phase transition into a better world. Stay home. Don't go to that protest. The chaos is not just in our country. I talked with someone from Haiti yesterday, and he said Haiti is a war zone. It's taken over by gangs. The government has been taken over by gangs, and soldiers from Kenya have been brought in to fight them. Maharishi told us all this would happen, and that it's just a sign that the old world is dying. Kali Yuga is dying, and purity is rising. The people are awakening to what is lawful, right, and good. That's the rise in purity. Now the best news. There are 5 groups formed now with 10,000 of Maharishi's siddhas in each group. This is creating a great rise in purity and orderliness in world consciousness. An awakening is taking place. They don't like Trump. It used to be more than half the nation. These groups could possibly make this world transition less chaotic. Maharishi did say people would go insane in the streets and that there would be big earthquakes, but these groups of siddhas will help. Watch my video on the phase transition and physics to help you understand what a phase transition means. It's called the physics of the phase transition. That video has a big red background. That's how you'll find it. The link is down below. What is happening in this macroscopic scale takes place in a microscopic scale in a laboratory when creating a superfluid. Superfluid helium. A superfluid that exhibits qualities of the infinite orderliness, qualities of the absolute in the relative world. For 8 years, I've been telling you that we're moving from the dark age of Kali Yuga to the golden age of Satyuga. And the contrast will create a short period of chaos. I've been saying what Maharishi said, that the world will shift its attention from politics to the world economy. He said people will go insane in the streets. He said heaven will then descend to earth in the year 2025. And now, with the super radiance from these 5 groups of siddhas, the time has come for all of it. With these groups, Maharishi created, he's bringing heaven to earth. So, prepare yourselves for this heavenly world by learning Maharishi's techniques to experience yourself as unbounded in a world that is beyond human imagination.